The last video we're going to make today, at least for this batch, is going to be over a general. And unfortunately, I don't have the generals that I would prefer to make videos on. I don't have the RF Dom, which is the... I don't have the Psycho Prototype, Psycho Gundam. I don't have Full Armor Ground Zeta. And for this cost, this clan battle on PC, the balance of Section V kind of sucks. The three choices you have for supports, especially on this map for simple battle, is Kanagan being the third best, RF Goog being the second best, and Magna being the first, and they're all gacha suits. You have alternatives like quests, but they're just not good enough. They're good in 5v5 66 when there's more generals to protect it, but in this 4v4 environment, it's not going to work. Delta Gun at level 2 will eventually be serviceable as well. Zambo's always good, depending on the map. Shazar Type B also depends on the map. So really, we only have three real choices for this clan battle on PC. For raids, if you're really, really good, you can do Bound Dock, but I'm not good. So I can't show you how to play this suit. Failnut, I thought about going over, but not enough people have the Failnut, and those who already have it don't need a video for it. Maybe I'll do one later, I'm not sure. We talked about Queb 2 and Vargil. Those are really great free-to-play options. There's some heavy attack bots like Rezel C. Look, if you want to do a heavy attack and just friendly fire and try and just be an annoyance, go for it. You don't need a guide from me to do that. You can do it on your own. You already know how to do it. The RF Camper is probably the most anticipated raid for this cost. It really evens out the balancing. It's really good at taking out the Magna. It's really good at taking out the newest Victory suit. But it's not out on PC yet. We're not going to be able to use this for this clan battle, so there's no point in going over it right now. That brings us to generals. 650 sucks for generals right now. Denon Zond is too old. Delta Kai's too old. G-First is too old. Carl is not good. I don't want to hear anybody say that it's good. I'm watching you. Fafnir is not yet buffed on PC. It doesn't have its DC 3. And this map, being a simple battle, doesn't favor its flight mode very well. Zeta Gundam 3A, Amuro Zeta, hasn't been buffed yet either. It gets buffed twice after this clan battle's over, which is tragic. Zaku's Way is too big. There's too many heavy staggers. There's too many boomerangs in the cost. Another reason why the Fafnir is not good right now is it is not good enough for this batch of videos to be mentioned is because missile boating doesn't work in simple battle. You cannot bomb a base in simple battle. There's no base. There's no base to bomb, so you can't use it. GF Tank has never been good, despite its drift skill. It doesn't do enough damage. We're waiting on the R44 to come out instead. Let's see here. What else is there? Psycho Doga's fine, probably, if you really needed one, but I would prefer the Double Zeta over that anyway, even though the Double Zeta, despite its good performance, there's no base for it to destroy. That leaves only like the O as maybe an option. Maybe we'll go over the O after this and the Zaku 3. But the Zaku 3 has a weakness here where in order to do what it needs to do, it needs to stand still. And there are two supports in this cost that either heavy stagger and go through its DC2 or have a gigantic beam that would love for someone to just sit still so he'd be fired upon. So the Zaku 3, despite its good pedigree, has to contend with a support that can disintegrate it even through max resistance, or a support that can just say, I don't care that you have DC2 or offense system or mobile firing, I'm just going to stagger you with this heavy stagger anyway. So these two are out. That leaves us with one suit, maybe two if we go over the O, that is good at all of its costs. So we might as well go over it since this applies to it at 550 all the way to 700. Let's talk about the Jagd sleeve type. The Jagd sleeve type is a suit that got buffed for what I assume to be not a good reason. It was doing great at 550, but it was doing badly in higher costs. And so as a result of that, the devs buffed its primary weapon to insane levels. This used to do no stagger at all. But now the beam rifle does like 85 or something like that per volley. It does like 17 times 5 or something like that. I think 17 times 5 is, yeah, it's 85. It used to do freaking, how much was this? I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, it used to do 8 times 5. That's 40%. Like, it went up by over double. It's insane. The Jagd sleeve type has 2, 3, I'd say even 3. It has 3 great. It has 3 great tools for accumulation, and then 2 great tools for chaining. And then the main gun is good at accumulation, and it's good for damage. This results in a suit that's pretty much perfect at just keeping a guy down and killing them at the same time, all without having to approach them. This comes at the cost of the Jagd sleeve type having no anti-blast program, because none of the Jagd have it for some reason, and somewhat poor defenses. This is offset by its up-leveling and the fact that you have to be really good at aiming this beam rifle to actually use it. This should not be a problem on PC where people have mouses, so this is a great choice for those who want to just shoot. That being said, its main weakness is that in order to get a stagger, it does have to shoot its gun at least twice, which means that in its 2 or 3 seconds of firing interval, it is vulnerable, because when you're firing a weapon and you're stuck in the firing animation, you can't really boost, and so you're not going to be able to go into a maneuver armor state, or any state for that matter. It has great skills. Starting at level 3, it gets evade system 3, which means that you can double dodge roll if you have at least 75% of your thruster gauge. It has damage control 1 starting at level 3. Level 3 is really where it pops off. So at 600, it's alright, it's still good. At 550, it's insane because it's insane to cost. And then when it goes to 3, and then it goes to 4, it gets insane amounts of quality of life, because it gets damage control 1 at level 3, damage control 2 at level 4. This is a suit that modulates its skill levels in such a way that it's good at all costs. But enough about that. Enough about the pedigree. Let's hurry up and start, because this is a very simple suit.
Ready to begin?
Another thing the Jagd Doga probably has a little bit of problem with is that its range is still limited to 300 meters. If you charge the rifle... Oh, I set the cost wrong. Whatever. If you charge the rifle, it gets to 400%. But, it's there. What you're really here for is the beam rifle rapid fire. It does 5 shots. At base, it's 800, and then it goes up by 50 per shot. So per level, it goes up by... Oh, geez, it goes up by 250 base. It does so much damage. This thing is everything for you. Pump your ranged up, and you're just gonna smoke people. So 85 times 2 is 170. This is pretty much staggering everything except for the QBLA in its resonance mode. It'll stun if you land all your shots. Granted, you have to land all your shots. It will stun even the Vargil because it only has a 166 while it's in maneuver armor. Bam! It's done. This is somewhat quick, but remember, there is an interval between the first and second volley. So if something like a Phalna is running at you and it has full thruster bar when it started, it can instant stagger you while you're shooting this. So be careful. If I were you, I would recommend doing something like this. Beam machine gun, start boosting and do follow instead. Let's talk about the follow funnel actually, because it's the second most important weapon on the suit. Follow funnel does 20 times 2. So 40. It'll stun most suits in a 3, and it has a 25% heat rate, so you can do 4 in quick succession. That's 160. Oh, you can do 5. Holy shit, that's a lot. So you'll stagger pretty much anything as long as you have line of sight and you're boosting. While you're boosting, you have MA1 and DC1 at the 650 cost. So you're pretty hard to hit yourself. So if you don't think you can land the second shot without being interrupted, shoot 1. Then just go straight to shooting the follow funnel. And retreat. That should be enough to dissuade the enemy from doing anything that would, otherwise harm you. When you do have the advantage when using the gun, you can chain it to its 2 other. You can chain it to its 2 perfect weapons to chain staggers: the arm missiles, and I think it's arm. I think it's shoulder missiles. Where do they come from? I don't know. The arm missiles and the Sturmfaust. The Sturmfaust has a slower swap speed, so use it last. Now these weapons are for chaining only. These shoot 3, they all instant stagger, but they only do 5% stagger, you know, accumulation, so they're only for chaining. The Sturmfaust does 25 times 25, so it's kind of helpful for stagger accumulation, and these also instant stagger. So your game plan is to go from beam rifle to missile launcher to Sturmfaust. Missile launcher, Sturmfaust. And then you do something like throw more, you can throw your funnels at them, you can throw your beam rifle if you still have more. I don't recommend going into melee with this suit. And the reason is because, first of all, your suit doesn't have anti-blast, so if a random suit explodes, you're gonna get staggered, heavy staggered. And also, your downswing is kind of slow. There's no reason for you to be going for this downswing, because you don't have Pursuit Aux. You're better off just doing your machine gun. There's no reason for you to go towards the enemy. Just keep shooting them, and just do 5k per press. There's no reason for you to go into melee. You do have melee. You have melee combo controller too, so do it if you have to. But you know, just be wary. This is not what your suit is supposed to be doing. Your suit is supposed to just shoot them until they die. That's all you gotta do. All we got left to talk about is the concentrated fire funnels, which is 25 times 6. This is 150. The firing interval is a little laggy, and it doesn't stun things that are in DC2, but 150 is 150. You can use this in combination with things like your machine gun. You can wait for your funnels to return. Accumulate that way. It's a good weapon. It's a really good weapon. Accumulate stagger from around corners with it before you decide to go out with your machine gun. This gets around the weakness that the machine gun can't do things on its own. Machine gun, then rifle. Change it to your missile launcher, Sturmfaust. Bam. Bam. That's all you gotta do. The one last thing to talk about is the missile launcher is auto fire. It fires all 3 at once at the press of a button. We talked about stuff like this before, and I would talk about the Jagd too. We haven't done a video about that. The Axe Zaku is the same way, where it shoots all of them at once and they're all instant stagger. If you're good, you can just shoot 1. You don't have to shoot all 3. It's not like this thing has good stagger accumulation anyway. You're doing this just a chain. And now you still have it. Like, you still have this thing. And you can chain twice as many times now if you kept 1 or 2 missiles after the first one. Something to keep in mind if you want to get past the fact that this thing has a somewhat long reload time. Alright, that's everything. Maybe we'll go over the O, maybe we won't, but I think we're good.